And I think the other thing too is we need to have a level of empathy for ourselves in that, like, you may not be able to do this all the time, and the goal is probably not to be perfect, but the goal is just to be more conscious on what you're doing and make many changes, and just try and do that a little bit more over time. I think that's a much healthier recipe for long-term success than either I'm on the wagon or I'm off the wagon. Once you realize that there is no wagon, that's when you really figured it out. So,
Oh gosh, I really love that.
that's a good one, right? Hmm.
Why?
Hmm.
I need to
Right.
write
Because
this down.
when we think about us as being on the wagon or off the wagon, it's either I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. When in real life, it's usually we're doing it a little bit more or we're doing it a little bit less. So I like the idea of a dial, despite how our local government has made me dislike a dial. But I like the idea of a dial where we can dial things up because life allows me to do that, or I dial things down. I never completely stop. We just we it's on a continuum, right? So that's where if we can get rid of this idea of a wagon, because that means I'm either on the wagon or off the wagon. It's black and white, which is very rarely black and white. Um, so yeah, it's kind of a fun one. So
I like that. I mean, I do talk about that a ton. Like, oh, I need to get back on. I just need to get back on board. Like you're the board. Like the ship is your ship of life. You're never hop. Like when you hop off your ship of life, like that is not. That's the end.
no, we have actually you don't have any issues anymore because there is no ship anymore, right?
So
So, so
I,
yeah,
I
I think a level of self empathy is really really important in any sort of change process. Like understanding that it's not going to be perfect, understanding that some days are going to be awesome and some days are going to suck, and the goal is just to do more good days. And yeah, there are certain times we can dial it in, like a challenge or something like that, where we have external motivation or our life just aligns to allow us to do that. But understanding that this is like a lifelong, I don't want to say struggle because it's not really a struggle, but a
journey.
lifelong journey, sure, right?
I mean, it's
Um,
like when things change, it's just a different chapter in the book.
right. And it's going to be challenging, and it's sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, and that's just part of the process. And if you continue to play the game, you win. It's when you stop playing when you lose.